Someday I'm gonna confront you on your dumbass Final Fantasy XIV takes. You had a half-assed experience on an uninvolved class and assumed from that cheeky smiley face.
Yeah, you mean I spent 30 hours playing a game and didn't have fun. I've just found Final Fantasy pretty unfun. By the way, if you're playing an MMO and that MMO doesn't have, like, real AoE attacks, it sucks.
My friend really likes Jimmy Dore and hates Sam Sater. Is there anything I can do other than lobotomize him?
Nah, bust out the tools.
Yeah, because you played Warrior, my dude. I like the class, but if you're looking for big complicated rotations, that ain't it. Try Samurai or something.
There isn't even AoE. Cringe. AoE is so much fun, dude. Trying to kite enemies so they, like, are roughly in a circular pattern, watching your health burn away as you desperately overextend, and try to, like, time it out so that your AoE kills all of them before they kill you. That is the most fun thing about leveling in WoW. Guild Wars 2 was a lot of fun. That might be the MMO I had the most fun with. I just didn't have the social group to do high-end content. You picked one tank that doesn't have AoEs? Okay, wait, hold on. When I say AoE, I mean proper AoE, as in ground-targeted AoE. As in, you target an area of effect on the ground, and that target is the damage zone. Yeah, there is that? Oh, well, sucks. They should have put it in the class I tried. Losers.
That's also not a focus of the game though. Almost the entire balance is structured around single target against bigger boss fights.
Yeah, AoE is just so much fun, you know, AoE rotations. There was always a lot of AoE in WoW. It's really, really common. World of Warcraft has a lot of AoE, which I enjoy a lot, but I think that I would have enjoyed it more if melee attacks were actually spells, if that makes any sense, you know? A game that has the mechanics of World of Warcraft, but melee attacks are actual things that happen. Like, the way melee attacks and ranged attacks and frost bolts and everything like that, really, the way they work in World of Warcraft is that they're spells. And they have like a 100% chance to hit, basically, unless you miss based on the miss modifier. Like, you can't really miss, you know? So, if you click on an enemy, and you're within melee range, and you hit the attack button, your melee weapon will do an attack, and the numbers are run on whether it was a block or a parry or whatever else, but it can't really miss by you walking away. Does that make any sense? I mean, like Black Desert Online? I have not played Black Desert Online. As someone who plays WoW, no, that doesn't make sense, Lamau. Okay. In this game, when you fire your shot, it literally physically fires a projectile that, if it collides with an enemy, will do damage and run all of the necessary calculations to determine the amount of damage done. In World of Warcraft, if you click on an enemy and you select them, and then you hit the fire arrow button, an arrow attack will happen to them. There's an arrow animation that goes along with it, but the animation has nothing to do with the actual damage of the attack. This is called Hotbar combat, because the attacks that you do correspond to buttons that you press, not to any real-world mechanics or physics. I always thought that World of Warcraft would be better if it had real aiming. So if you want to fire an arrow, you have to hit with the fucking arrow. If you want to do a melee attack, you do a cleaving attack in front of you, like in Dark Souls, and if it hits an enemy, it hits an enemy, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. That requires a lot more of the server, and latency can make this a pain in the ass, but it is something that I like, you know? You guys are mentioning, like, games. I haven't played all these games. Now, this couldn't be done for WoW, because this would be a totally different combat system, but I think that'd be pretty cool. Yes, Guild Wars is a lot more like that. One of the things that I really liked about Guild Wars, let me see if I can just find this. Guild Wars 2 gameplay. Let me just see if I can find, like, low-level gameplay, if that's possible. Like, I don't want, like, any crazy high-level dungeon stuff or whatever, just... Okay, here we go. They're playing a warrior, even, which is what I played. Okay, see? This is what I mean, okay? We're walking around, okay? You can actually dodge in this game, which I love, by the way. You can literally dodge, like that's awesome. Like, it's not a spell, it's a dodge. You dodge, like in Dark Souls, which I like, you know? There's an enemy, and see, you do a swing, the swing doesn't hit. You can target, you can do the attack, but it doesn't hit. And now we swing, and if they're in front of you, it actually hits. I know this seems simple, but this is a huge difference to the way these attacks actually function. The crazy thing in Warcraft is, like, attack animations, attack noises, and attack damage have, like, no relationship with each other. Like, compare this...
Segments. Your dodge energy...
where it looks like you're actually attacking the things that you're hitting, if that makes any sense. To, like, here, hold on. WoW Warrior early gameplay. Just give me just some basic... Okay, look at this. Look at the noise made by the attack. Just look at the motions of everything, okay?
We're a team.
Okay, see, look, you're a little orc dude, see? Look.
And we get the fur. Nice. If I aggro another tiger, I'm 100%.
See?
Okay, that was bad.
Look at the attack that just happened.
Aggro another tiger, I'm 100%.
Look at this. Okay, we're walking away. See, the orc is moving to the right. You can tell by the red line right here that the tiger is still selected. And then watch. An attack! Did you see that?
100%.
A melee attack that connected when there's like a 10-foot distance between the two, facing in opposite directions. The reason this happened is because the melee spell took place when they were both facing each other. The turn away that happened afterwards was only the delay between the attack actually connecting and the damage and animation taking place. You see? So the problem with this is that it's incredibly unsatisfying. Like, seriously, it just feels like ass to play. This is why I like AoE, because in World of Warcraft, area of effect attacks are the only attack that actually has a direct relationship between where you aim and what gets hit. You can select a target, do an AoE attack, and then miss if that target isn't in the area you're doing in the AoE attack. But in this...
Okay, that was bad.
See, look, he's going to do it again. I play this game too much. He's going to do it again. It's going to happen again.
100% fucking dead.
Turn. See?
Okay.
And they can moonwalk while they attack as well. See, look. You don't stop when you attack.
That was bad timing.
So
I'm 100% fucking dead.
You do this like you're both moonwalking backward.
Okay, that's good. This fucking hero saved me. He's just attacked it.
Okay, just give me
There's three. Okay, there's three. Fuck off. We're out.
Oh, it also affects enemies too. Look at this. Look at the enemy's attacks.
I'm gonna be fine. Oh no, there's three.
They're about to get hit by the enemy behind them. The enemy 10 feet behind them.
Okay.
That hit right there, that just connected, was from the Kul Tiras sailor he has selected, 15 feet behind him. If you've ever played World of Warcraft, you have died to enemies melee attacking you from the other side of a wall. That is a thing that has happened.
There's three. Fuck off. We're out of there. We are out. We spam the macro. Oh no, this poor guy's AFK and he's getting attacked. We're going to save him. We're going to be the hero that this world needs.
See, just
oh my god, dude.
People
People are getting shredded in this place. The mobs are respawning really.
Can you stop cutting? I don't care. I just want to see gameplay.
I'm out.
I don't care about your voice. Nobody cares. I just want gameplay. You guys get what I mean. So, there's nothing necessarily wrong with hotbar combat. It allows for a lot of server action without there being any latency issues. It basically allows the game to handle a lot more going on. But I really, really enjoyed how in Guild Wars, when I would throw an attack out there, it felt like I was actually throwing out a fucking attack. You know, if an enemy got hit, I felt like I connected with them. There wasn't much ambiguity there. It felt meaningful and impactful. If I go back to playing any other MMO, and I certainly hope I fucking don't, it'll probably be Guild Wars 2. Is there going to be a Guild Wars 3? Guild Wars 2 is getting kind of old. When was the last giant content drop? There's a huge content drop in 2 months? Nice. Hotbar combat isn't that common anymore, though. No, that's true, but keep in mind World of Warcraft is like fucking 17 years old. Ever since the original game, they've been building on the original code, and the code is not particularly stable. So, for example, and this is kind of like a notorious tidbit of information, in World of Warcraft, with all the expansions that have taken place, they still have never been able to upgrade the size of your backpack. Like, there's no quest you can do that'll make it large. So at the moment, towards the late game, you have like 4 extra pouches, each of which can carry the moon, and then you have your regular backpack. And apparently, according to the developers, the size of the backpack is so integral to the code that they can't change it without breaking the entire game irrevocably. And Traco, it's just personal preference. You shouldn't get mad at it. Remember the plague that spread in WoW? Yeah, there were papers written on it, but that was cool. That's not a thing anymore. Getting an account authenticator adds 4 slots and being a Volpera adds 8. Oh, really? Did they actually get around it? Oh, whatever. The point is that there's a lot of stuff in World of Warcraft that they're really... that they only really have because they're working off such an ancient code base. Yes, the corrupted blood plague. For those of you who don't know, you can actually read articles on it. Basically what happened was there was a raid that came out back in WoW's early days. Early days. Like, and what was it? It wasn't Cold Tyrus. What was it? What was the name? It's been a while, guys. The name of the raid. Zul'Gurub. Thank you. It was trolls in the place. And there was an attack that one of the bosses would do that would give you a disease. Infected blood or something like that. And if you got it, you could spread it to other players. So the way to handle it in the game, you know, was to spread out so that you wouldn't spread it. So social distancing, you know, 6 feet, don't spread it to your comrades, etc., etc. But what they found was that this plague, corrupted blood, it could actually be maintained in one of your pets if you would quickly put your pet away after they receive the disease. So you could essentially preserve it indefinitely in a sort of contagion Pokeball that you were holding on to. And what they did then was some of the people who had this, and I think at first this was discovered accidentally, but then later they started doing it deliberately, was they would remove their pet from their inventory and deploy their pet in major cities. And that would instantly spread the contagion like wildfire. And you have to understand that back in those days, before server splitting, WoW cities were massive. They were huge in terms of their player population. Tons of people were in any given city. Hundreds and hundreds of people. And most of them, mind you, were lower level. And it would kill them instantly because the disease was balanced around the health pool of a fully leveled, well-geared character. So a lot of them would die instantly, but higher level players wouldn't. And they would run around and spread it. And yeah, NPCs would hold on to it, because some NPCs have essentially infinite health. So if they got the disease, they would just be permanent contagion carriers. And what that meant was that some NPCs could not be interacted with if you were a low-level player, because they were a perpetual beacon of plague. That you couldn't really interact with them. If you did, you'd catch it, you'd die instantly if you were lower level. It was a massive contagion. It actually led to an honest-to-God sociological event. It was studied by sociologists and by epidemiologists. That's not a joke. It was actually studied, like, academically. Because what you then had was a sample, basically an experiment done organically, with millions of players being subjected to a lethal disease, and to see how they would react. Like, what would they do? What patterns of behavior would people adopt? Many of them ran out of the cities to go try to, like, chill in the rural areas where they were less likely to encounter other disease-carrying players. Some people would quit altogether. You know, some people would deliberately try to spread the disease. I'm pretty sure there were instances of, yeah, people would set up triage posts where healers of high level would try to heal and cure disease the weaker players. So they would be like the you know, try to quickly keep people alive. There were cults, you know, like people who would, like, join up in cities and start worshipping the plague, etc., etc. You know, fun stuff like that. Really fun. I mean, really interesting behavior. There are articles written on it if any of you are curious. Sort of worshipping the plague blood.